I know you never hurt me, but that's okay. Cause once you hear my poppin', you're gonna walk this way. Now I sound different, nothing quite like the rest, which indicates to all you industry insiders.
And like that, ladies and gentlemen, I know you miss us, but here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Donna Alamanche Morge, for this edition of Hashtag Fade to Black. And here with my my dog, Mr.
What's
Will.
up?
Mr. Will. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I go on, because this is a Tuesday special but catch-up show, so we're not going to do much of the traditional things we usually do with the show because I got to catch up contently. But my dog over here, one of the owners of the Wet Network, has a lot to say about the new things that we have with the app, as well as you got a lot of things you need to get off your chest.
I wouldn't say get it off my chest, but I know there's a lot our people don't pay attention to, or they get the wrong. They fall into public opinion about a lot of things that public opinion shouldn't even be a factor on. So I want to touch on some of that.
You know what? And because I really wanted to know what you, because I got some things I wanted to talk about too, but I think it's kind of in line with yours. So if I'm pretty good guesser. Is it dealing with what's going on with Deion Sanders?
We can add that to the list.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, cool.
I had purposely, was trying to like not dig into that, but yeah, we can.
Oh yeah.
I
So
got some thoughts on that shit.
Yeah. So how about this? So let's go ahead and push back on if hopefully we get to eventually about the updates with the Wet Network app. And let's get to the first things in line on what do you really want to talk about. So basically you're just going to be the lead for this show. I'm just going to, add my thoughts and try and navigate. But this look like it's basically your show to lead. So what's the first thing on the docket tonight?
Oh man, look, we can start with this badass poker game the United States government just played with the Russians.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Mm-hmm. We give up one of the most notorious people that we've seen in the world since Adolf Hitler, right? This dude was an arms dealer. Victor Bout. A notorious arms dealer will sell you the gun and then sell your grandma a gun so y'all can shoot at each other. He didn't care who he sold weapons to, right?
As long as he sold it and got his money.
As long as he got his bread. We traded this guy for a person that has openly said she ain't really vibing with America because she felt America, turned its back on her. Would you let me drop this one on you? Would you let Jeffrey Dahmer or Charles Manson, would you let one of these people out of prison if they became terminally ill?
Oh no.
No. Why in the name of God did we let this guy out for, okay, why did we let this guy out of prison? Because African Americans were upset. Because that's all it was. This wasn't even Black Americans. I don't wear the label of African American. To use those words together in the hyphenated form, just like any other race of people, it indicates that you immigrated to America. Well, I didn't immigrate to America. So by logic, I am not an African American. I'm just an American.
And the thing is, I tried to cut you off what you're saying, but hopefully I ain't break your train of thought. But I'm gonna have to bring this point to you. You are technically correct because I've been thinking about this. Like I had one of my battle buddies. I wish I was still in contact with him, where it was a topic of discussion. I remember we was in the motor pool, and he was like, I got pulled into a conversation. One of the person that he was debating with, it was a friendly debate. It wasn't like we was going at they was going at each other. He was like, Morris, what do you consider yourself, black or African American? I was like, well, African American. And then my dog, he was like, then he said, but you're not from Africa. I said, well, my descendants is from Africa. He said, yeah, I understand that, but where were you born? I was born in Richmond, Virginia. He said, then you're from Virginia, so you're not African American. And at that time, I didn't understand what he was saying because he said that I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. I said, yeah, but you got African descent. And then as the years grew on, definitely, I'm gonna tell you what really opened my mind to this was not trying, Elijah, I'm not trying to defer the conversation that he's trying to say. I'm just want to bring up that point because this is one thing that we don't talk about on the show, and I think it's a conversation that needs to be had. ADOS really opened my eyes to this. I didn't look at ADOS for reparation, but ADOS was mainly trying to bring everybody of all African descent trying to get reparations. And then you see how Tariq Nasheed, he just basically, like he always do, he drifted. He was for them, and he just basically piggybacked off of their idea, and then he just changed the name to fundamentally Black America, wherever the heck it is, in which
Right.
my eyes on to, well, yeah, we always, when it comes to just us Black Americans, it seems like we always take a backseat. We do all the work, but everybody else jump in. And when we always talk about like, you know, this inclusiveness and how Black people don't get anything, people fail to understand this is not just Black people. This is just like Africans do the same thing too. Because when they first come over here, no disrespect, because I know Mayo, my boy Mayo, I love you, Mayo. No disrespect to him. And he's all about the cause, but you got many Africans that come into this country or been living in this country for a while that only see themselves as African. They don't see racism. They don't see the craziness that we go through on a day-to-day basis until it eventually happens to them. Because we try to warn them, like, yo, you don't know. Okay, you think when that police officer, once again, not saying all police officers, it will be that one police officer, because I know they're notorious in the South, definitely in North Carolina. I know Virginia is terrible. I know North Carolina is even worse. When that police officer gonna pull you over, he could care less that you got an accent. He just know that you are a Black individual. They don't give a damn you from Cameroon. Nope. They don't care if you're from Senegal. They don't care if you're from France and you either speak Portuguese or you speak British. They don't give a damn. They just know that you are a Black male or female or the M word. That's it. So yeah, I'm happy that you brought that up, because when we talk about like things like this with Black America, we have to understand what Black America we talking about here.
Right.
Because we just can't sit there and say, well, it's all of us, when we can't say all of us when it suits them, when it suits, certain people. Because I could be from freaking, let's say I'm from Nigeria and you're from North Carolina. I'm just using this hypothetical. Everybody using this hypothetical. You could be going through some stuff. So like, let's say they're not allowing you in your building. They harass you every time you go up in the building. Like, how can somebody like you who's a convict, who had felony charges, how can you own this building? You're getting harassed every day. Like, no, my name is in the lease. This is my office. I pay for this every month. I don't do nothing illegal, no, nothing like this. My business is here. But I have an office right there next to you, and you're telling me that you have these problems. I'm sitting there like, well, you should comply. I got everything good going on for me. I'm straight. And then all of a sudden, the same issues that I was telling you to ignore, well, not to ignore, but like to deal with and just comply, I'm dealing with it. And now I'm talking to you about it, man. I should have listened to you the other day. But you too far going your own pride. You like, oh, so now you see it now?
Yeah, it's a problem now.
Yeah, now it's a problem. Now it's happening to you. And so,
I tell
I'm
people,
happy. Yeah.
I hit folks with that all the time. Like people, and that was another thing on the list. Like, I'm a big stickler for personal responsibility. Before I look at the cop and go, dang, the cop messed up. I want to know what you got pulled over for.
Right. You have to now. I like I said, I'm a progressive. I'm a firm lefty, as they want to call us. And let the details come out. It has been a right-wing talking point, but then again, I understand more that it's more than just a right-wing talking point. It's not a right-wing talking point at all. It's a reasonable
statement.
Wait till all the details come out. We just can't go on first reactions.
Right.
Maybe the police officer was in the right. Maybe the police officer was in the wrong. So the details don't support nobody because we don't know the details.
Yeah. Don't wait for the details.
Right. But going on to what you were saying, I believe that we do have a history of doing horrible trades. Like even under the last regime, we gave away 12 Taliban's prisoners back to the Taliban, and I'm like, hold up, what? And that shit, and realized the media didn't even report on that. Media didn't even report on that.
At all.
Happened at all. The last regime, the Trump administration, gave away 12 people. I forgot who was switching over. Then, even before the Trump administration, I think the Obama administration, we gave away people that we shouldn't have never did, and we did. And I think it was in trade for that one sergeant, whatever the fuck his name is. I can't. It's like some strange ass name where he abandoned his post, and he said that he was kidnapped, bag dog, something like that, bird dog or something like that, and said that he abandoned his post, which I don't believe that. I believe that the dude couldn't hack it, and he just joined the Taliban or whatever group, or Al-Qaeda, whoever. And he basically was just, who knows, he probably committed espionage. That's why he's still in jail to this day. Thank goodness. But I believe we traded some real bad dudes as well. So, but my take on it is this. For what the Brittany Griner did. So I'm taking, you don't agree that Brittany Griner is was the one trade to come back here.
Do I agree that it was a good trade?
Well, do you agree? Yeah, basically, yeah. Do you agree that her coming home?
First, I felt the United States should have stayed out of that mess completely. No trading, no picking up the phone and checking on her. She went to another country and broke their laws, and all we did as a country was show the rest of the world we don't have no regard for the law, depending on your status in our society.
I can see that. I can see that. I'm gonna tell you why I agree with it. I don't want to come in somebody else's house and disrespect it. It could be good for me to go up in your house without no shoes on, but for somebody else's house, they allow you to walk with your shoes on. So yeah. I get that, but I don't think it should. To me, I think no American. I think anybody on foreign soil that's American should have a right to. We should have a right to go and bring their asses back, no matter who the fuck there is. But with that being said, because a lot of people are also protesting that this Marine that I'm hearing, well, we left the Marine over there, but nobody didn't realize that this Marine was discharged dishonorably, committed espionage, and not to mention he was spying.
If he was over there spying, we sent him. That should have been the number one reason to get him back.
Well, actually, it was not under. Well, it wasn't for the Marines or for the Americans per se. That was him doing his own damn thing. That was him doing his own thing. Because the Marines was like, we never told that dude to do that. And so I understand that.
You know, like I know certain things they send you out to do, you get caught. That's exactly what they're going to say.
True, and true that, but he should have knew that rule too. So that means he wasn't a good fucking spy.
He knew it, but to get out from under the court martial and all the other bullshit, because it ain't like he was a good dude either. You see what I'm saying?
Right, and see, and that's why that
would have been a more equal trade than letting loose this notorious ass dude for all intents and purposes on the world stage. Brittany Griner is useless. Other than for what she does.
She is a good basketball player.
Man, playing basketball ain't never helped no army.
I understand. I understand that. I'm actually sitting down. I got the freaking window open behind me. But yeah, I can see. But see, thing is, I see what you're saying. But at the same time, I do agree with her coming home, because then she was used as a political pawn, and that's one thing people are not talking about. Because old buddy in Russia was like, oh, not to mention she's black, she's lesbian.
She was more of a pawn for the United States side of things.
I don't think so. I think she was more of a pawn for Russia.
Really?
Because I'm gonna tell you why. If I took something of yours, let's say you're president of a country, and I'm a president of a country, and we got this little bitter, might as well call what the United States and Russia have is a Cold War. Might as well. Only person who's even keel about it is Trump, but he's gone. But still, I would try to find anything, even the most small, minute thing, just to hold it against you.
To get what you want. I would
do that. To get what I want. But right. I can see what you said. And see, the thing is, the reason why I'm not going like full-fledged, like, I'm all for the Griner thing, but I like to see things on both sides. You know me. I come to the side of the tracks. I go on the other side of the track to see why you think that way and why you believe that way with no judgments, because I want to understand why you come to this, I won't say conclusion, but why you feel that way. Right. And so I understand exactly what you're saying, because you can say, for instance, with the United States, how they could use her as a pawn, because they could be like, we're trying to get her, we're trying to get this sister. We're doing our best. We're doing our darndest. But we both can agree. That they was probably just holding the football. And I tried to tell everybody, y'all have to watch House of Cards. If you want to understand politics one-on-one, beyond one-on-one, watch House of Cards, because there's an episode, I think it was in the 3rd season, where it was a part where people was coming at him because they had what's the damn guy named, the Kevin Spacey character. He plays the president. So the premise of this episode was they have soldiers that were prisoners, and he's trying to get the soldiers back. And I think it was actually from the Russians. Actually, this is how a House of Cards is. It's so based off what's actually going on right now, and the show's not even updating. It's fucking ridiculous. I encourage y'all to watch this, but I'm going too far off the track. So he's negotiating getting his soldiers back, But the Russian prime minister is like, well, you got people of ours, and we're willing to trade. And the person that's playing the president, Kevin Spacey character, was like, we don't have them, but if we do, we'll let you know. Tell me why this motherfucker had them the whole entire time. He had them the whole time.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is,
that's another rule. You don't give up your position.
Right. And they just hold it. They just holding the foot. They holding the football, wasting time off the clock until it's enough for them to kick the field goal to win the game, so that the other team, they don't have no shot at even holding the football. And so I believe we could both agree that it was also on the American side that they're holding the football. Now, understand, me and you both being military, we know that when somebody said they're going to do something, we know that they're not going to always do it right then and there, because it's a thing called a quid pro quo. People always state that it deals with sexual relations. Oh no, a quid pro quo is also done in every walks of life. Somebody's going to do something, but you got to give me this or give me that.
And it's done more so in the legal professions.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you really open your eyes to things, definitely with lawyers. Like, I had to work in freaking Kentucky when I was at a pizza joint. There was these bunch of lawyers that would be sitting down just having, brush. Well, majority of the time is drinking, just bullshitting. You would think it came from the same law firm. Oh no. It's even their rivals, sitting back having cocktails after they both go at it at each other in the freaking courtroom, and they sitting right back at the freaking bar, just chugging them back, making fun of their clients. Some of them, majority of them, they will boast their chest and being like, yeah, I beat you and all that stuff. And then next thing you know, they talk about their clients and like, man, I knew I wasn't gonna win that. They suck. They garbage. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, they trading off lives is what they're doing.
Right. Because they're gonna get paid at the end of the day.
We both got 3 or 4 cases where we going at each other. You give me a good plea deal on case number 1. I give you a good plea deal on case number 2. The whole what's that? Scratch my back and I'll scratch yours.
Scratch yours. Mm-hmm. Or hear those pro bono cases.
Now, imagine how that affects somebody who might not necessarily need to be charged the way they're being charged, like they're being over sentenced, or the charge don't go along with the crime, that kind of shit. And y'all trading this off. Y'all ain't got no regard for whether or not this guy actually did it or not.
Nope.
Y'all just want the conviction.
Mm-hmm. And then, not to mention, a lot of people don't understand that these lawyers also in cahoots with these freaking DAs too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They homies. Because you got lawyers that actually do become DA their damn selves, or better yet, become freaking judges. And they know the judges too. And it's notorious in the South.
Which kind of brings us to the next thing on the list.
Oh boy. Here we go.
If people need an example of when to snitch, all you gotta do is look at this Young Thug case.
Oh my goodness. I've been wanting to follow this case so bad because who was it? One of his homies actually testified, and they don't know if he was snitching or what, or dry snitching. What you take? I'm gonna let you. You're the one that's a such measure on.
All right, here's the example that was given in the court proceedings. Right, me and you and another guy get pulled over. When they ask you who dope it is, you go, I don't know. When they ask me who dope it is, I go, I don't know. The dude we got in the back, When I ask him who dope it is, he goes, "It's not my dope. It's not Morris's dope. I don't know who dope it is. I know it. I know it's not. I know it ain't my dope, and I know it ain't his dope." Didn't I just snitch on the nigga in the back?
Sound like it to me.
I ain't speak up for him. See, here's the crazy shit about this case, man.
Yeah, you got help me out.
All 28 of these dudes need to go to prison. All 28 of them. It's 28 of them. And the 56, 28 co-defendants and a 56 count indictment for violating the RICO Act. That means a business was put together to do illegal business. All these cats got the only one that don't have Slim in his name somewhere is Young Thug and Gunna. Everybody else got a derivative of this Young Slim Life, YSL, that whole thing. Now, the DA told these cats, she warned every organized crime participant in Atlanta, "I'm coming after y'all. I'm going to use y'all rap lyrics to get y'all convicted. If y'all first of all, you're dumb enough to be out there doing that shit. You're even dumber to go to a recording studio and record the details of the crime on a record. You're snitching on your damn self. You ain't gotta wait for these niggas to do it." When the first one, Gunna, when he, oh God. All right. There's he's one of the younger ones involved, right? So they were saying, all right, he only got one count against him in the indictment. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna offer him this plea deal to where he doesn't have to testify against anybody. He don't have to be involved in no court proceedings going on, and all he owes us is 500 hours of community service. But he won't spend a day in jail. That was the first guy. The right-hand man, the one they call Gunna. He's supposed to be Young Thug right hand. He was the first one to jump ship.
It always be your friend or family.
Now, here's what I mean by knowing when to snitch. 28 people all being indicted. You don't want that number to get down to like 10 people left. You know what I'm saying? Because the judge still got 200 years worth of time to hand out. But over the course of the past week, he got this 100 years to divide amongst 26 people now, not 28, because 2 days ago, snitch number 2 jumped ship. Snitch number 2 said, "I want the same deal my man got. I don't want to have to testify. When I got involved with this shit, it was just for the music. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to feed the family. I don't know nothing about this organized crime, this RICO shit. I don't know what y'all talking about." So far, out of all of these dudes, he probably the only one I believe. For real, out of 28 people, this second guy is probably the only one I believe. Because again, he's one of the younger ones. He don't have no real record and shit of other
like to live
previous. And so far, all this one has done is just been out here trying to sell that bullshit he called music. But again, you rolling with these people. When they do shit, that's a reflection of you. It don't matter if you at church feeding the homeless every Sunday if your homie out shooting and robbing people on Monday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Like, hey, look.
So
one thing
for all the people watching, let me get this one. Let me drop this one on them on this one. For all the people currently watching and the people that may watch this in the future, if you're going to snitch, at least pick the appropriate time. Don't be one of them. Don't be one of them last snitches, because you still gonna catch some years. Snitch early, you know what I'm saying, and get out from under the bullshit.
Yeah, look, here's my thing on the snitches thing. Like I do like make fun of it a little bit around friends, but I think you hit the nail on the head. Because if you think about snitching, it could like here's my only stipulation with it. If it's somebody that I really truly know, like my homie, my family, and all that stuff, maybe I will hold some stuff in. But if I don't know you, or I'm just joining in your ranks and all that stuff, and you want me to take a dive, nah. Definitely if I have a police officer, if I'm sitting in one of those negotiating rooms, which I actually sat in one before, but it wasn't for something like this. They like to manipulate you. They will like to come in, they will lie, sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, your friend snitch." You know that they lie, but it's just when they tell you, if you don't tell me, or at least tell me something that what your friend is telling me, this is what you're looking at. First of all, I was just looking about, look, you don't even have to go through spill this and that. This is exactly what happened. ... I was at the wrong place, wrong time. This is what they was doing. I was sitting there in the car, and he just said, drive. What else do you want me to do? I drove. That's it.
Yeah,
I didn't know what. Yeah,
they didn't tell me they were going in here to rob the damn place.
Right. You know? I'm like, only thing I heard was drive, and that's exactly what I did. You cannot sit there as I don't care how long in the field you've been in. But if you was in my shoes, because I know that y'all do the big boy, not the big boy, but the good old boy system here where you have to do this hazing just for you to be liked by the group. You're not going to sit there and tell me if you was in my shoes and you was in the car and they told you to drive, that you're going to sit there, well, man, I feel like this is wrong. No, your ass is going to drive.
Now, is this on our way to said store or after we at the store? I'm sitting in the car. They come running out.
Right. After.
Nah. Nope.
My homies, you would, yeah?
My homies know me, man. They know. Nah, what the fuck? First of all, what the hell y'all running for?
Right, but in the see, like I would say the same thing too, but in the sense of this young cat, because you got a lot of young cats that don't know anything about that shit. You know, their first instinct when they hear their homies, like they jump into the car, drive. That's one thing they go drive. But like for us cats, we're gonna be like, first of all, why are we going to the store? We never went to the store before. Second of all, why y'all got masks? Furthermore, I have never seen y'all just openly holding y'all weapons and y'all loading it on our way to the store.
Oh no! If shit like that going down, we never make it to that store.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't worry, I'm pulling over. I'm
gonna get the hell out.
First of all, you in my damn car because if we get caught, guess what? They're gonna see my license plate up on there. They're gonna see my face with y'all ski mask on. So they're gonna think that I'm just the fucking driver.
Yeah, and then hit my dumb ass. I'm sitting in the car with no mask on. You see?
Right, and y'all want me to take a dive for y'all while y'all get to live y'all lavish life, probably hid that money somewhere and y'all enjoying it. Now one of y'all, maybe one of y'all, come visit me in prison while I getting like tattoos and fending off dues and all that stuff, trying to cut deals.
We had
y'all sitting there like, yo, what's going on?
There's a guy here, man. They just caught him maybe 4 days ago. Mm-hmm. He robbed 2 banks that are pretty much across the street from my office. There's 2 banks. He robbed both of them, and then went across town and burned a Family Dollar to the ground.
Why? Why? What's the point? What's the point?
People were mad that when the cops finally caught him, you know, of course, he tried to put up a fight, got his ass whipped by the cops. Now he's sitting in jail. People were mad. Oh, y'all beating up another black man. I don't care. I don't care what color he is. Bitch, my money in that bank.
Man, I'll go buy some stuff from Dollar General. He burned that shit down. I guarantee that was like the closest store. That one, like almost like a Walmart.
in that particular on that stretch, yeah, that's one of the few places that's like, you know, a little department store that you can go to. And he burned it to the ground, bro.
But
Store ain't been there for 5 years.
see, if people would just think about it, just think about it. For me, because there's not a Dollar General over here. Because every time I say Dollar General, only people from my neck of the woods would know what a Dollar General is. Because Dollar General have been growing over there in the South, definitely the rural areas,
man, it's
all
ridiculous.
over the place. Because I remember one time, it was Family Dollar, Dollar General, and Dollar Tree that was competing against each other. Family Dollar is still around, but Dollar General really took off. But my thing is this: Dollar General was a place where I would just shop before payday. You know, get some grocery. You know, get a little bit of groceries here and there. You know,
you need a rug for your bathroom or something,
right? You know, or just get an 8-pack of soda. Well, 12-pack of soda, because they be having some deals on 12-packs. 12-pack of sodas, noodles. Get some 2 DiGiorno pizzas. Like nothing too big. Bag of chips. Not too big. It's just to hold you over until, and I usually will shop like 3 days before for actually going shopping and go to freaking Kroger. So for somebody to do something like that and they still getting praised shows how effed up our community is. I mean, it really shows that we praise the wrong people. we get the people the wrong type of hype. Like I hate how we say free this person or free that person. Like I remember when Lil Wayne went to jail and they say free Wayne, and I'm sitting there saying, this the same Wayne that sit there and said Black Lives Matter at his freaking concert, and then all of a sudden he knows nothing about it and denied that he ever said anything like that. This is the man that said that he only cared about him and his family and nobody else. Like, look at the interview that he did. Not even an interview. I think it was a documentary. Was it a documentary or? Because I remember MTV. I think it was MTV that did this thing called True Life. And
I want to say it was MTV. Yeah.
Yeah. And he did a documentary and it was talking about when the Katrina hit. And if anybody read through what he said during that interview, he literally didn't care. He was like, as long as my cars and my family are all, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying that I'm looking out for my family first. But if you're all about the city of New Orleans, you would want to know how they are doing rather than just going touring and going to concerts and just making money from the damn place. You will want to know how your fans doing, so the love is reciprocated. But he got mad. He took in Michael Jordan's terms, he took it personal when one of his homies died in Katrina because he thought it was just another one of those. I forgot what's that one hurricane that hit Louisiana, and it didn't matter. And so that's the way he took their personal. That's why he made that one song about George Bush.
Yeah.
And you have to think to yourself, wouldn't you have made that even if your homie decided to just stay there and thinking that the storm won't nothing? You know, you got to ask things like that. It's like
these record labels only put out music that fits the situation to help them sell records.
And people don't understand that. And so
if that was not the case, then every album that gets released would actually be what the artists want to make. I refuse to believe all these young guys coming out want to make the same type of bullshit. There's the labels behind them.
Mm-hmm. And then also, speaking of these musics, they also had the no snitch culture to go with it too as well. And
then they snitching.
And then they snitching. They live in these nice houses, live in suburbs, or they live in like areas where they are not around civilization, which is crazy to me. You out the hood and all that stuff, but you still preaching about the no snitch, no snitch. And
You shouldn't be doing nothing in your life at that point to where you have to be worried about being snitched on.
right. So why sing about it? Why write songs about it? Why try to be around your homies to say that I'm not about that? I ain't gonna say nothing. Like,
Oh yeah, you
dude.
are. Because
Oh
I'm
yeah,
the head of this label, and I want you to make that bullshit. I
right.
give you
And
$100,000. You make me an album with some bullshit.
And the thing is that $100,000 not even all the money that goes in their pocket. It's a freaking loan that basically we give you this $100,000 just for you to repay back in your sales, and you're lucky to get the residuals off your sales,
Yeah.
depending on how good it goes.
You bring the group in and you say, hey, I want to sign y'all for $1 million, right? Let's say we just got a like the Locks, 3-man group like the Locks, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to sign y'all for $1 million. The first thing that group should ask is that $1 million per person? See, that was one of the questions the Locks didn't ask about their first contract. That's how they ended up signing that bullshit.
Or those 360 deals. Oh, that's
Right.
the worst.
Or these contracts that have been developed since the passing of Tupac and Biggie, might even go back further than that have the death clause in it. To where if your music ain't, it ain't popping no more, your older stuff is worth more than your newer shit. You become worth more dead than alive to your record label.
Mm-hmm. And then also you got to bring up the issues that was happening with Prince and also with Michael Jackson.
And these were people that learned enough to get out from under the damn thumb that was holding him down.
Because Sony was,
Sony had to give up half their music catalog to Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he owned half of that shit.
And then also he owned half of Sony too as well, because at that time Sony was going through some tough times during that.
It was because of those masters. That's why he had so much clout at Sony. That's why he got into putting out an album when he felt like doing it, after he perfected these songs and got them together like he wanted them. There was no label saying, oh, we need this album done by Christmas. Like they do with a lot of these, these rappers. I can't even call them hip hop artists because they're not artists.
They're not. I mean, and then also you got to think about it too. People don't see. You see all these record labels coming up. People like, well, record labels. Well, Jay-Z got his own record label, but guess where the real money is? And we talked about this on the show, and that's distribution.
And touring.
Yeah, and here's the crazy thing about distribution. There's only one black-owned distribution that's in Alabama, which is crazy. That distribute music. Now, here's another thing. So there was this story that you probably heard about what's his name? Jay Prince, Dame Dash, and Master P. They all came together to make their own black distribution for music, because it was like, okay, we got all these record labels, but the real money is in distribution. So we don't have to answer to Sony. We don't have to answer to Universal. We don't have to answer to Capitol Records. We don't have to answer to nobody. So when we have these artists that goes through us, we got our own distribution and we do it ourselves. Apparently, the FBI stopped all that shit. They stepped in and told them, like, if y'all do this, we got this on you, and we will make it happen. So basically, they did what they did to the Black Panther, but without any casualties.
Yeah, they went after the people that they know they had dirt on. Especially, nobody's doing business with Jay Prince on that level right now. Not with the whole thing with with Takeoff and
Yeah.
yeah.
And then also I put Dame Dash up in that too because Dame Dash don't look like somebody I would love. I would not ever do business with him. I think at
Really?
first, I tell you the truth, at first I admired him, but then I really started to see this guy be just an arrogant prick. And I see why Jay-Z and other people just didn't want to work with him. And what makes it even worse, he's horrible with his family. Now I don't watch too much of this. I'm a reality show buff. I love reality shows, but as of late, I haven't been watching too many reality shows. I think the closest reality show that I watch is Chef Ramsay, Kitchen Nightmares, and freaking
Oh man.
Chef Ramsay is like God to me. When I mean like God to me, I mean in food. Because if I hear anybody say anything about food and it doesn't come from Chef Ramsay's lips, you're shooting the breeze with me. If Chef Ramsay don't say it, what you're saying is bullshit. But anyways, there's a show called Growing Up Hip Hop, and you have Dame Dash's son that's in that show. And how he talks to his son, like he ain't. Now I understand, that's your son. You're the father. So, but he talked to his son so reckless when his son needed him, because I think he was going through a court case or something like that. And he said, "Dad, I need you." And his dad was sitting there like, "Well, you wasn't there for me when I was going through my marriage." I'm like, yo, this is not about you, Dame. This is about you being there for your son.
See, it's and the positions on that can be different depending on what you've provided for this child their entire life.
True.
Again, I'm always one of them people with questions. This is the son of Dame Dash. What you going to court for? Come on. You're not supposed to be out here putting yourself in a position to have to deal with court, much less beg for attention from your father.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what he went to court for. But
even as young as my two young ones, right, 14 and 13, I have expressed to my kids all their life, jail and prison and even court is not where you want to be. Okay. Make choices so you don't even end up in these environments.
Yeah.
And that way you don't have an emotional outburst when you ain't getting the help you feel you should be getting to deal with your situation.
Right. And so for me is this. Yes, I don't know exactly what the situation was, but for Dame Dash to make it about himself, I'm like, dude, like
that was a little off.
Yeah, like don't make. I realize if you look at all the arguments that Dame Dash had, like the famous Breakfast. Now, okay, for the Breakfast Club, I was with them on that one. I'm gonna tell you why. Because we can all agree, we could both agree that Charlemagne be smelling his own shit a little bit too much, and DJ Envy. DJ Envy sometimes is like the naive, clueless friend that you just want to be like, dude, are you serious? Like, so like when I first saw that interview, I agree. At first, I agree with majority of the things he was saying, but then years later, I had to go back and realize, like, yeah, some of the stuff that he's saying right now don't make any sense. Like, the one thing that he got DJ Envy on, which DJ Envy should have just took note, shouldn't say something back to him, was the part where he said that he invested into the record, not the record, but the station 105.3. He said he invested back into the radio station. He said, I'm an investor. I'm paraphrasing what was said. I refer anybody to go back and watch that interview because I think that interview is probably at 78 million views right now. So I'm paraphrasing what was said. So basically, Envy was saying, I'm an investor into this because all the paychecks that I get, I reinvest back into the radio station. And Dame Dash was saying a boss owns everything, meaning that if I own this, my kids can come up in here and basically do whatever they want. I can come up in here, and if I wanted to start my own show, I can do that without asking anybody. And he basically was asking Envy, can you do that as being an investor? He basically gave him a no answer. He was just basically saying, well, I'm an investor. I'm an investor. He's like, that's good. You are an investor, but can your kids come in and do whatever without having to ask anybody that you can do so? And I understood him on that. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because, people always like to say they're a boss. They're a boss. And I will say this. I'm going to continue to say this. You are only a boss if you're the one writing the checks. A boss never receives a check. I may not have a business yet or making billions yet, but I do know this. The one that is writing the checks is the one that makes the rules, is the one that's telling you what they need you to do. Now, unless you're a private contractor, you lay out the plans and you tell them this is how we're going to do it, and they write you the check. Now, that's a different story. But like for music, podcasting, whatever, if you're not the one that is writing the check or have the liquid capital to use it, and when I say liquid capital, look it up. I just put it to you like this. It's the money that you have on hand.
The money that makes shit work.
Mm-hmm. Because the difference between capital and liquid capital. Look it up. If you do not have the liquid capital and you're not the one writing the check, you're not a boss.
Like, I got into it. I got into a verbal altercation with a lady that works at a gas station here, right?
Oh boy.
Because I'm not a flashy dresser. I put on clothes to be covered up unless I gotta go,
entertaining. I got you.
Right. Mm-hmm. So every day, I stop by this gas station and get something to drink or whatever. And every day this lady was trying to, like, I'm literally, I could just walk in the store and that bothered her, Oh,
wow.
So one day I'm being helped by another cashier and she comes from left field. Just, if he can't afford it, he just can't afford it. Just put it back on the shelf and go to the next customer.
Whoa.
And right. Now, I think what I wanted was like $3. It wasn't the fact that, affording it wasn't the issue. It was just that me and him was trying to sort out if he had pulled the correct item from the shelf. He realized he had not pulled the correct item. That made what she said even dumber, in my opinion. When I tried to let her know that she didn't know what she was talking about, and at first I was being, cordial about it. Like, hey, he done worked this out. Let us do this over here. There's plenty of people you can be helping. Why are you so fixated on this? Right. And that's when she all the way to the left with it. People can't afford what they want. They shouldn't come in the store. And I said, lady, I could not do what I do for a month and I would still make more money than you make in that month.
Yeah.
I said, no, but I don't punch a clock. Somebody has to tell you to have your ass in this gas station at a certain time. If I don't want to answer my phone before 12, guess what, bitch? I don't have to answer my phone before 12.
Like, what?
She couldn't wrap. She just could not wrap her head around the fact. Oh, this dark-skinned brother coming in here every day. He must be homeless or something. Because of all the homeless people in the area.
Right.
It didn't dawn on her that, damn, maybe this dude got some other shit going on. Yeah. So now, right, They've she done got with the police and they done put up like little loitering signs and all that shit, which don't it's not referring to me because I'm not loitering. I come to the store, get what I'm getting, I'm going. I ain't standing around selling bud in front of the place like her little nephew. See, yeah, I do my homework. Yeah, I do my homework on people, bro. I don't need your name. I just gotta know what you look like. Let me show you my new toy.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. Boy. I normally don't get into my super gadgets, but for the sake of the conversation today, let me show y'all what I'm working with.
Oh shit! Don't tell me those things got a camera. Oh wow, he does.
Right in this, yeah. Yes. I highly recommend anybody that's just trying to live their life, go through the world without no bullshit. Y'all better get some.
I've actually been looking at those for the wholesale, but I'm gonna talk to you. I'll talk to you offline on that one. I don't want to let too many people into that detail. but yeah, but that's crazy, man. It's just perception. I'm telling you, perception is a motherfucker sometimes. It's like, okay. Like, it just reminded me of that Instagram video that I seen where it was like an old guy and like somebody was like, get a job or something, and the guy started laughing and he took out the freaking key and he opened up his freaking Lambo and dude was driving like a Volkswagen or something like that, and he had like a dumb look.
Did he own a hotel and the people they kept trying to kick him out the hotel or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. I think I saw that. Glanced at it.
And here's another not too much off the beaten path of what we're talking about. So here's another story. So this was like a Australian story of a black bar owner. So this is how it goes. So like there was like it was taught through a Patreon that was there. So basically it was these bunch of these white dudes at this Australian bar. They sitting there celebrating about something, and they see this black guy sitting all the way at the end of the bar. I mean, he just sitting back there, has his own little brew, and just, taking back the scenery. Mm-hmm. And like one of the dudes, like one of the main guys, he was sitting there saying derogatory things at me. Like he said, hey fella, you think you can? You think you could afford that drink? That's the only one you could get. Like, just imagine all like the derogatory things that they were saying to this guy. Right. And so every time he would buy a drink. The white dude for his crew, he'd be like, cheers. And he's like, yeah, you too, you black booger. And then the brother was like, at the same time, like, cheers to him. And he was kind of thrown off, like, why is he being so nice and so cordial? And I'm just throwing all these insults at him, knowing that I don't like black people, and he's just down there smiling. So coming to the end of I won't say come to the end of the night, but like it bothered him so much that he talked to the bartender. He was like, hey, why is that guy so happy? Why he keep cheersing us and all that stuff? And the guy was like, because y'all making him a lot more money. and he was like, what do you mean? He said, yeah, that brother that you keep insulting and all that stuff, the reason why he didn't kick y'all out is because he owns this bar. And the more liquor y'all buy, the more money he makes, which helps out my paycheck because I get a cut.
So feel free to sit there. Yeah, feel free to sit there, keep buying drinks and hollering nigga all night.
Mm-hmm. He said the Patreon, he was like, he was surprised because he overheard this shit. He was like, oh, I didn't know that neither. So that's why, and also I was talking to one of my co-workers at the unit. I told him, I said, the National Guard is a very small world. And this is why you're cordial, you're nice to people. But then also, one thing people don't understand too, you see who the people that fucks other people, that are rude and that are mad. See, they don't tell you that part. They always tell you, you got to be nice to people and you probably might need them. No. This is a two-way street. I don't always need them. There's going to come a time they're going to need me. And so when they come at me ugly and come at me stupid and come at me, that make me want to nod my head like this, like, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna be in a position, maybe a position of power over their authority. Oh, Sergeant Morris, I remember him, and I'd be like, yeah, I remember you too. I really do remember you. You remember you came at me at that certain, yeah. I'm gonna keep that in the back of my mind. I got you. And so it's more than me just being nice to people, which I put my respect, I put my custom courtesies against anybody because I show respect to anybody, and I don't even show that type of respect to where I'm kissing their ass, because that's not me. That never will be me. But to the point where it's by the book.
Right.
But yeah, by the book. But when you cross that and take advantage of that, that's something I'm gonna keep in my mental.
I know one thing that I have had to a myth that I've had to dispel over the past year and a half of the customer always being right. Oh. Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Hell yeah. Because you got people that would take advantage of that shit.
And you know what I do? Like my method for showing customers that they're not always right is very simple. I let them tell it to themselves. If I say, hey, Mr. Jenkins, can you bring your Fire Stick by the office? And, I'll run a couple of tests on it, see if I can figure out why you're having all these buffering issues at your residence. I don't want him to bring his Fire Stick so I can run any kind of testing on it. I just want to get it on the internet here so he can see it playing without buffering. Because then the only thought he should have is, maybe I need some faster speed on my internet and not to keep nagging this young man every day. I let the science, I let the technology answer them, deal with them type of people,
Yes, sometimes you gotta do that. Sometimes you just gotta show how stupid and dumb that they look.
Yeah. Like, once the evidence, it's like court, man. Once the evidence is presented and you still going, oh, he ain't guilty, then that's an internal problem.
Right. Hey, when the truth is out there, what can you say?
A lot, not all, but a lot of the people that voted for Trump are those kind of people. You can show it to them in black and white. You can show this dumb son of a bitch on a video saying the stupid stuff you just told them he said. They can see and hear him saying it. And still, oh no, he didn't do that. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that.
And the funny thing is, it happened with our people too, which lead me to this next story. Because I know you said let's add it, and that's the Deion story. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna lead off with this. I'm gonna lead off with this. When Deion Sanders first became head coach of Jackson State, I was happy. I was really happy. I was like, he's gonna put the HBCUs on the map as they deserve to be, and he did his thing. I mean, this man went through this school. He'd been with this school even when they was having their issues and having their problems. Definitely the water issue that Jackson is still having, which is fucking ridiculous. And Deion is not the type. And here's the thing is, Deion could have just stayed in Jackson and just would have been amongst the people, done his due diligence for the community. No, that man went to the fucking mayor. And he also called out the governor. And Jackson, this is in Mississippi, or Jackson, Mississippi, right? This is the same Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Because is it the same state that Brett Favre is almost getting away with murder with this foundation, whatever the fuck? Right. He got money, took it from the freaking from the welfare department of the freaking state.
Housing and urban development, welfare, fucking EBT. Yeah, he pinched in all of it.
Which they hoard that fucking money because they believe people got to pick themselves up by the bootstraps, and you're the most poorest state, and y'all gave this money that y'all been hoarding from the regular people and Mississippians, and you give it to Brett Favre. And you couldn't even give that money to fucking Jackson, an all black community?
$22 million.
That could have, I won't say it solved the problem, but it would have got something started.
$22 million? That solves a lot of problems.
Oh my God. I'm sitting there, and here's the thing. Deion donated half of his salary, and he wasn't even getting paid the most in Jackson. I think he was like the 5th lowest paid head coach in SWAC conference. I could be wrong.
Now,
But I knew he was 5th. Either he was the 5th highest or he was the 5th lowest paid head coach. Let that shit sink in. And he gave up half his salary. He brought in sponsorships like freaking American Airlines to be the official airlines of the fucking college. What other head coach does
100
that?
and what was it? 158. No, 185 million.
All that damn money. And not to mention Under Armour.
That's what Deion Sanders brought to Jackson in the form of advertising value and exposure.
Yeah.
185 million in 6 months.
That school should have already had programs.
That shit should be getting $185 million. They should be rebuilding every fucking building on campus.
Yes, and see, that's what I'm saying. You are either money would be going to programs they already have to start new programs, to already have freaking brand new buildings, a hall. To me, they should have a hall named for Sanders, Deion Sanders himself. A football stadium to endorse other sports that they have in their freaking schools and all that. None of that happened. No, this man who literally said, because people are taking what he said out of context. They were thinking what he said was that he was going to stay in Jackson forever.
That's what they assumed.
And that's the crazy thing. And see, look, for me, I had that problem. I tell you why, because like you know, it's being in the military. When you get attached to people, you know, you cool with, you got drunk with them and all that stuff, and you just hate that feeling that this is not gonna last forever because we got a PCS or we gonna ETS, you know, unless by some spirits outside of us have us going to the same destination would be cool, but there's gonna come a time where the split's gonna happen. Man, and it's that part of you just like, damn, I don't want this to happen, but guess what? It happens, and when it happens, it hurts. And so, and you think that it was gonna last forever, but unfortunately, we get older, life changes, our circumstances changes. I mean, everything around us changes, and we just have to accept that. Not only just us, but also for them too. And that's the biggest problem with our people, because when we have that savior come in, because they thought Deion Sanders was a fucking savior,
he was.
Attached. Well, tell you the truth, by circumstances of all the things that we talked about, yeah, you could technically say by technicality he was a savior, but they look at him as a savior as he's here to stay. Yeah, right. You see what I'm saying? So they're looking at him as a savior for the wrong reason. He was a savior to your college, to SWAC, to HBCUs, to the community.
Winning seasons.
Yes.
Not just we won some games, 2 winning seasons, 2 seasons that kicked straight ass, plus $185 million in advertising and sponsorships and such. It looked like he saved a bunch of shit to me, whether they want to give him credit for it or not. Here's an example of how celebrity status and helps out with the fundraising, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Not too far from my house, there's a all-girls college, Bennett College, home of the Bennett Bells, right? I think it was 2006, 2007. Oprah Winfrey herself helped this school raise a little over $500,000. Right off the top of your head, name one thing that we can improve at damn near every college with $500,000.
New uniforms.
Right. If nothing, nothing
Yeah.
else for your volleyball team or something, I can see that.
Yeah.
Help out the sports program and
Mhm.
$500,000, and all they bought for this school that the community can see, just riding through, was window unit air conditioners to go in these old ass dorms. They get up to 90, 100 degrees during the summer. They put air conditioners in the windows of the dorm rooms rather than just put straight up heating and cooling system in the damn building. It don't cost 500 G's to do that.
I know you still got money to spare after that.
You still got money to spare. $500,000. And all they got was some fucking the window unit air conditioners. Whatever the rest of it was spent on, the community isn't aware of that.
So basically, somebody got paid.
Yeah. This is also the same college that was attempting to take the property that my family house now sits on. About 6 months after we had that house built, that school tried to take 2 more streets that's behind the school as school property. But here we had a brand new damn house sitting there now. We wasn't about to get that up.
Lucky they didn't call eminent domain.
Oh, they could have tried, but then they'd have had to deal with my mama, that 22 and that baseball bat. Because that was the only
Fair
way.
enough.
Fair enough. I was at the city council meeting with her as a child when she told them that. Yeah, y'all, if y'all want it, that's how y'all gonna get it. Come take me out of it. I didn't work all these years for, what kind of community is this where the black college is gonna try to force the black people out of the neighborhood so they can expand, but they're not doing nothing with the space they got.
And which goes back to the Deion thing. So he did say that he was going to entertain prospects. He was going to entertain jobs from these top 5, colleges. I have no issue with that. Even when that first came out, even though I believe Colorado was a crap job at first, but then I thought about it. I was like, for you to build your legacy, start at ground zero, you would want to start at Colorado. Colorado have not been good in years. They have not been one of those feared colleges in years.
No. I think they won one game last year.
One game. You're not lying. Just be nice. They probably won 3 games. But
so if this man can go up there and turn that around, from his style of coaching, a lot of people get ready to owe this dude an apology.
Oh yeah, I think they should owe his ass apology now.
I think Deion Sanders could go coach any NFL team, and they're going to start winning more games.
Because he already, when he went in that little I won't say press conference, when he went and talked to the players, I felt every single one of those players' stomach turn, because when he said that now all y'all going to be here, he said that he's bringing his package, he's bringing his baggage, and they all Louis. We already know that his son's going to start. So whoever's the quarterback on that team, you might as well either go in that transfer portal, or you better work your ass off for that freaking cornerback, left or right. You know what? All the corners have been put on notice because his son's going to start. Now you got to fight for your damn position, or at least fight to be a backup. And then and this is how much of an impact Deion have on college, that nobody from Jackson or anybody that's against Deion is seeing. When that man went to Colorado, when people heard that he took that job, look at how many kids, not just any kid, we talking 4, 5-star recruits from Power 5 teams going in the portal.
Right.
Ever since Deion said that he is going to Colorado. That is crazy. You're not just going to sit there and tell me all players to decide to be like, oh, I don't want to play for Alabama no more. Oh, I don't want to play for Virginia Tech no more. Oh, I don't want to play for South Carolina. I don't want to play for Clemson no more. You don't think that's, as in the words of Umar Johnson, you don't see that suspicious?
It says more about the lack of coaching ability from the teams that are being left.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, you would think that it's all black players. Oh no!
Oh
no!
What? No!
Oh no!
That's just what Fox knows.
Yeah. No, and that's the crazy thing. It's not all black players. You got white players, white quarterbacks to be exact.
Yeah,
white linemen. You got freaking Hispanic kickers. I mean, even Hispanic wide receivers. They want to go to Colorado. And I go back to what I said about those Colorado players that's sitting right there right now, and that stomach's returning. I guarantee you that thing that was turning in their stomach turned into shit, because when they heard how many people was in the transfer portal, not only just players in the transfer portal, these are 4 and 5-star recruits.
The best of the best.
The best of the best.
And they want to go and be coached by what they consider the best of the best.
And the crazy thing is, not only are they 4 or 5-star recruit, Deion gonna be looking at your freaking film. Or
yes,
he probably already looked at your film.
Looking at it right now.
And see what you contribute either in your first year or your second or your third year being in Colorado. And if he don't like what he sees, guess where you're going? Well, I won't say where you're going. He's going to offer you a ticket to that transfer portal because he ain't going to need you. I don't blame him. I'm like, look.
Here's what bothered me about the whole thing, right? There are plenty of non-black coaches coaching at these HBCUs, right? Mm-hmm. Where's the heat from their races about them coaching at an HBCU? Why are we the only race bent out of shape because this man elected to take a better paying job at a place not considered an HBCU? You know they're calling those PWIs now, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're predominantly white institutions. See, that's dumb as hell to even have those labels. I just want my kids to go to a college. I don't give a fuck which one it is.
Not only a college, a good one.
A great one.
Yeah, with great programs.
Because for as much as they try to blow up the whole HBCU thing, let's be honest, a lot of them is straight trash.
Yeah.
North Carolina A&T, you know, the only reason A&T is probably not looking like garbage around there is because Ronald McNair got his ass blown up in the space shuttle, and the government keeps shoveling money over there.
Where's that money going? Yeah.
They built, man. Listen, A&T, bro. It's you don't have to leave campus to do nothing but buy a damn car. They got it for you over there. I can't vouch for no other school. A&T spends the money to at least make it look good. Even if, you know, I don't know how the curriculum and the professors, I don't know what the mood is over there, but it looks good.
But if it's looking good, I'm expecting that it's gonna make this look good too as well.
Right. Man, it's
but see, nobody don't want to have that conversation. See, that's the thing.
No,
nobody don't want to have that conversation. So I'm happy that you bringing that up because like in Virginia, you got Virginia State, and you
Mhm.
got Norfolk State. And
Mhm.
so I don't know how good those colleges are, but you hear the regular ones. You hear Grambling. You hear about, once again, Jackson State, the Sonic Boom, as they always want to talk about. Mississippi State, um, Alabama A&M. I mean, the list goes on and on, but the HBCUs, but these are conversations that need to be had. It's like, okay, y'all getting all this money, because there's also, I think altogether the money that's these HBCUs are getting is $250 million. And so, and this is being split amongst all the colleges. And it goes back to what you're saying. You're getting all this money. What are you doing with this money? And with Deion leaving Jackson, it really exposed the university of like, what are y'all doing with these funds? Y'all still got these issues. You still got these problems. What are y'all doing with all this money? And it's just damn disrespectful how Jackson just literally just pissed on this man. They didn't spit on him, they pissed on this man. Stole that man's shit. Not only him, but everybody else, his wallet and all that stuff. And he said, we're gonna find out. And I'm looking, if I was there, I would have been like, Deion, that's not gonna happen. Jackson is so far gone. You lucky to get your wallet back, but you never getting all of it back. You're not getting your license back. You ain't getting nothing back.
Yeah,
Jackson just exposed who they are to you.
Yeah, I'm sure that led to his decision to get the hell away from there. Like, damn,
I did all this shit,
and y'all robbed me.
he said it was such confidence. He was like, man, we gonna find out. Yeah, you gonna find out. You probably might find out 2 years later who stole your shit and they ain't did nothing. You probably might see your damn license and whatever they had up in there, probably on eBay. This is the great Deion Sanders license,
right?
Selling on eBay.
This is Deion's monogram wallet,
or whatever he had up in there. I mean, I was like Deion Jackson, and see, this is why a lot of us don't deal with our own, because of things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, I probably would have been hurt if I lived in Jackson, and he would have. I won't say he left abruptly, but I should know in the back of my mind, if this man finds a better, and then not to mention, people don't understand, he also is opening the opportunity for more black coaches. Because I guarantee
at schools that are going to pay them more than they're getting at these HBCUs.
Right. And so, and you also got to think, I'm like this. He basically broke the sound barrier. Let's be clear for real. And I guarantee you, 3 years down the road, I say, 3 years down the road, and another job like this opens up. You're not going to tell me that damn, if Deion knows that head coach, let's just, for example, I'm going to use that one Alabama State coach that he told Deion he's not swag. And I know
you Deion, mean the one that didn't want to shake hands with him after the game?
Yeah. So knowing how forgiving Deion is, I probably wouldn't be forgiving. But let's say he's looking for a Power 5 job. You're not going to tell me that he ain't going to reach out to Deion and be like, yo, man, I know we had our issues in the past, but you saw my resume. Can you help me or refer me to any of the jobs out there, or at least have me work under you? You don't think Deion Sanders is not going, you don't think his word going to have any type of weight? First of all, if he wanted to join his staff, I don't think freaking Deion Sanders wouldn't hesitate to add him to the staff so he gets feet wet into the college world, which helps his cause out even more. So now you're working under me. You either, I think he's more of a defensive side of the ball type of guy. You have him working under you, getting his feet wet, and now scouts are looking out for him now. You don't think Deion's word don't have any power? You don't think that he can go if Alabama, let's say Nick Saban retires or something like that, and they're looking for a successor, and he said, "Hey man, I'm gonna go down to freaking coach down to Alabama." You don't think Deion's word don't have no weight down there? Like, really sit back and ask yourself that. That man will have the job just like that.
Or not have it.
That true. that too.
Hey, you gotta think how you treated that man after that football game, and now you come and ask him for a favor.
Mm-hmm. Or if he found out that they was looking at him and somebody from Alabama, because I know this was going to happen. Somebody from Alabama, probably the athletic director, calls up Deion like, "Hey, that one guy from Alabama State, he's putting in his packet to be interviewed for this job. What you think about him?" Oh, remember, that's the same guy that turned me didn't want to shake my hand. Do you really want that type of atmosphere for Alabama? For your players? I'm just saying, you do whatever you want, but I'm just saying. If he didn't want to right, I'm like, he didn't want to shake my hand. He said that I wasn't swag. So do you want him to say that to all the SEC coaches that he don't like and say that they're not SEC?
Every time he lose a game, is he gonna have that attitude?
Right. I mean, is he gonna sit there gonna say that the Georgia head coach he ain't SEC, or Auburn coach that he ain't SEC? Do you want that? I'm just saying. I say, if I were you, those are things I'd be thinking about. Deion has weight. You know what? And it's funny that he's doing commercials with Nick Saban, because I think Nick Saban is actually looking at himself in the mirror, because now you're not the only big dick in college now. Now you got to deal with me. We're not just making commercials. Just as much as they want you in this commercial, that's the same responsibility and trust that they have in me to be in this commercial. The same stature. Because Nick, yes, your words has power, but now I do too. Because you've been recruiting nothing but black boys from all these low down, rundown areas, mainly rural areas, that have gift and talent. Now you have to deal with me, a brother that looked exactly like them, that knows how it feels to live in areas where we could barely get by, and making a name for myself. You won national championships. I won Super Bowls. I won Super Bowls. I was a player. I'm a player coach. You're just a coach. Yes, you learned under Bill Belichick. That's great. You won your national championships. That's great. You went to all these communities, black, rural communities, and you got these brothers to play for Alabama. That's fine. But guess what? I'm in the game now, Nick. I'm a brother that came from that cloth. I came from that cloth. You just wiped your hands with the cloth. I come from that cloth. You don't think that if you go to any of these communities and see these top prospects, talk to them, say all these nice things. Hey, did I slip out? I'm sorry. I got the little I got the little thing in my throat. I'm sorry. And commit these kids to go to Alabama. You don't think that I can't swoop in and tell them that, look, I came from the same path. I'm a cultural, you might as well say I'm a cultural icon during my time in college, during the time I came to
I don't recall a single time where Deion had too many issues away from the field.
None.
Yeah,
right. I say, like, how many highlight reels do you have of Nick Saban? None. Tell me how Nick Saban ever came. Like, I'm telling you, if I'm Dion, I know Dion will say this. Nick Saban don't have no highlight reel like me. Number one, he don't have no Super Bowls like I do. I got many jerseys and many teams that I played for. I got stats upon stats. What do Nick Saban have? Oh, he got national championship. How about this? Have Nick Saban ever grew up in the area that me and you grew up at? That we literally had to support our family. We had to support our family. Have Nick Saban ever came from that type of environment where I could walk down the neighborhood and it could be my last time, but I lived? Have Nick Saban lived through that? What are you gonna do?
Nope.
Like, you have to think to yourself, do Nick Saban really do care about your well-being? Or he just worried about winning a national championship? Think about it.
Man,
You got
a lot
some.
of
You
them
got
cats is just they just worried about winning.
right. Do you think that he really comes up here to care about you and your family and hoping that you make it out and that you get an education, or he just cares that you cares for you for your abilities for him to win a championship? He got national championship. Me, I got national championship, Super Bowls, records that probably will never be broken in another next 20 years. Everywhere I go, people know me. What's Nick Saban doing that not other players on the field is doing? You don't see nobody doing a high step, doing my little dance.
A lot of people don't even watch college football. They have no idea who Nick Saban is.
Yeah. What have Nick Saban done that you could be like, oh yeah, I remember that, other than him winning national championships? None.
Hey man, I love Alabama's football program, but it's the team. My admiration for Alabama football has nothing to do with the coach.
None. Because Nick Saban just need them to win. He don't give a. I'm gonna say he don't give a kid. He don't give a fuck about those niggas as long as those niggas know how to hit, know how to run the ball, know how to throw the football. I don't even think he even had a black punter before, but if they can kick the ball, long as them niggas keep winning me championships, they call me a nigga lover. I say it proudly until those niggas stop winning. Let's be for real. But mark my words on this. Mark my words what I'm saying. Not only just you, Will, but everybody that's watching this show right now, what I said. Nick Saban days of drafting good 4 5-star prospects to Alabama is over. And this goes for everybody else. This goes for Georgia too. But for Alabama primarily, their days always been numbered for me. But now
I think it's gotten a little harder for them to get everybody that they scout these days. And because, because of Deion Sanders is about to be even harder.
Yeah. I guarantee if I'm Deion Sanders, I'm telling all my scouts, scout where Nick Saban is going. Even scout where he's going.
Word.
Yeah. I mean, that's business. That's to me, that's not cheating. That's business.
Yeah.
That's business.
I don't think there's any rules against that,
He gonna get mad when they don't commit because you know the famous commitment ceremony when they got all the hats and all that stuff.
Oh man, and it's funny that you mentioned Alabama because I was watching a video yesterday of National Signing Day where it looks like I think it was the kid had the hats on the table, and the mother or whoever she was, she's sitting right beside him with the Alabama sweater on. And then he reaches down and picks up the Florida Gators hat.
Oh yeah, yep.
And she got up and just stormed away. Yeah, and I'm like,
that's on.
Damn. First of all, mom or aunt or whoever, you not the one out there taking them damn hits.
Right.
First and foremost, I understand. You might have made sure I got to practice. You kept me fed, kept a roof over my head. But we pass all that. You ain't the one taking them hits. I got to go where I think I'm going to thrive at. And if I don't think Alabama offensive line can help me stay healthy, then I gotta go with these Florida Gators.
Right. And here's the thing, and it's funny you bringing that part too. But now I will agree with the mom if he chose to go to Alabama other than Colorado. That's where I probably smack him aside and say, I'd be like, you know how many first of all, you know in Alabama how many sundown towns they got? Where they tell you don't go here,
Far
don't
too
go there.
many.
Right.
Far too many for it to be 2022, man.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I can't stand when you got black players going to Alabama, because I'm like, I couldn't trust going down there. Or if eventually when I have kids, if I have like a recruit come and try to scout my kid, I'm be like, how many sundown towns you got? Obviously they're gonna be like, well, we gonna keep
what do
them
you
in
mean?
safe. Like what you mean? Or like we keep them in safe environments. I'm like, no, I say that's the issue where you have to put them in a safe environment. They should have the opportunity and the right to go somewhere freely without worrying about that. Me being from the South, when somebody had to tell you don't go here or go here, but leave before it gets dark, that's when I have an issue. Not only just me, but for my kid, and knowing that I'm gonna be on the other side of the freaking nation and I can't get there, it's gonna be too late. One, and then two, I'm gonna have to, for me to get the story correct, I gotta hear that shit from y'all, and y'all hope that y'all not the next one in line to be put on a stretcher. So somebody's gonna answer for something. But other than that, I'm not saying Colorado's any better. I've been in Colorado. Colorado's pretty nice, but freaking Deion Sanders, if he hasn't, or he in the process, he just turned this whole entire college game on its fucking head. And I guarantee you, high profile players, I wouldn't be surprised if people like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, who else? Randy Moss. Let me see who else. Who was a very high profile black player? Chris Carter, Emmitt Smith, maybe even Michael Irvin starts to become head coaches. Think about that. Think about that. Steve, I put your boy Steve Smith up in there.
Oh yeah,
Steve Smith was the one that said that Cooper Kupp was going to be the number one wide receiver. He's the all-around wide receiver. And I ain't going to lie, I didn't understand what he was saying, and look what Cooper Kupp became to be with the Rams.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Keyshawn Johnson, I give him the torch. I even put my boy Marcus Spears to be a head coach. Look at all these black names I just mentioned to you that could come into college, including come back into HBCUs and make a big difference. I promise you, if you bring all of them,
I think it's interesting. Of all those names you mentioned, how many of them cats actually graduated from an HBCU?
Think about that. Think about that.
Is Deion getting all this heat because he actually graduated from one? Or? I had to think about that for a second. Like, damn. But all these names you just mentioned, I know some of these cats did not go to an HBCU.
Nope. If you got something that even if you got something that go back to alma mater, like Ed Reed comes from the U, and I hate Miami, but if he goes back to the U and coach that team up to Providence when he was going through, I'm telling you, the days of the SEC dominance is numbered. You put LaDainian Tomlinson, if he become a head coach, or just to say in the Chargers area, you bring in freaking Antonio Gates. Let's go to Detroit. You bring in Megatron to be a head coach.
Oh man.
This, I'm telling you, people say that the floodgates are open, but people don't understand what's coming with that flood. Because I promise you, these people that I'm mentioning are probably thinking right now, like, let me go ahead and, because I guarantee you, Deion Sanders probably got contact of 90% of the guys that I just said. I know he got Michael Irvin's number. I know he got Emmitt Smith's number, Steve Smith's number. I promise you, they talking about him like, yo, man, how's that head coaching gig? How is it? And I guarantee Deion saying, well, man, I could put in a good word in for you.
Yeah.
Remember I said that Deion word? Yeah.
Yeah, come get this a try. See how y'all like it.
Right. He's like, yo, I can put in a good word in for you. And got the look at how many head coaching jobs there are getting opening right now. Like, look at how many people. A lot. I mean, even these garbage ass freaking conferences like the Sun Belt Conference. You seen Emmitt Smith there? You seen Emmitt Smith there? Oh my gosh. It'd be what Deion said with the HBCU.
What conference is Colorado in?
I think they're in the Pac-12.
Oh shit! Yeah, I don't even be looking at the Pac-12 for nothing.
Right. Right. Now see how many eyes. See how many eyes are going to be there now just to see Colorado.
A ton.
And here's the thing: I'm going to place my bet because I haven't seen the odds yet for Colorado for their chance to win in a national championship next year. I'm gonna put my bet in. I guarantee those odds like 20,000 to 1. And I'm gonna put $100 on it.
They probably gonna get better as soon as Deion get his money though.
Yeah. Cause right now they're saying that Colorado don't have enough money right now to pay him, but trust me, they're gonna get their money. Number one, because I guarantee it, not only Deion's bringing all those players from Jackson that he himself recruited.
Yep.
He's also bringing in that sponsors. American Air. So whatever airlines that Colorado had, bye-bye. Whatever freaking who was ever supplying their freaking uniforms, all that stuff, bye-bye. Under Armour. All that sponsorship that he had from Jackson, he's bringing it over to Colorado.
Yeah, man, they didn't appreciate it. So, whatever was not worked out before the split won't get worked out.
Yep. So now, y'all ungrateful asses, I took everything from you now. Now you have a reason to be mad at me. Y'all didn't feel any grateful when it was there. Now, guess what? Now you're going to have to be mad and be ungrateful from afar.
That team won't win 10 games next year.
Oh, heck no. They lucky to win.
Like, for real. Y'all listen. Before I called them a sellout and robbed them, I'd have tried to come up with their money to match the offer.
Right, and seeing that's one thing that's missing. Somebody who had the smarts to say that, there was like all of what happened is exposing what Jackson really is. Why in the world Jackson? They really wanted him to stay. Why in the world they didn't fight to keep him?
Yeah,
they had the money.
Could have went and hollered at the alumni. Hey man, y'all need to donate something so we can pay this dude. We don't want him to leave. We like winning. The team likes winning.
Yep. Jackson State is turned, and it also exposed that Jackson State ain't nothing but a money pit. And nobody don't want to talk about that. It's a fucking money pit. If you want to see, right? If you want to see debt to students was a scenario, this is it. This is it. Let me just come here just because it's a historically black college. But then when I finish getting my degree, I am in debt in my fucking eyeballs. And not to mention my freaking dorms was not that great. Number two, I had to watch myself every time I left the freaking campus, not only just leave the campus, even on the freaking campus, because I could lose or get my shit stolen. And nobody knows nothing because we still got the get snitches, get ditches thing going on. I thought we supposed to, if we know something, say something, but if we know something, keep your mouth shut.
Hey, so, I'm telling you now, don't do no crime around me. If I don't have nothing to do with the planning of said crime, I'm telling it. I ain't going to jail for you.
Hey, Bernie Mac said it right. Bernie Mac was like, hey, I don't know you. I'll be the one in the court. I said, I don't blame him. First of all, I'm like this. I'm not gonna say nothing at first, but when you drag my name in, they said they saw you here. All right, cool. This is what happened. Dot, boom. Am I done?
There's a reason why all the criminals come to America to go to prison. It's like, you know how it seems like every young Black American want to go to like Dubai. That's why they come over here to get locked up. It's like they're going to Dubai. It's so comfortable. The prisons are comfortable here.
What did they say? 3 meals in the cot?
Yeah. Somebody washing your clothes, somebody planning your meals. All you gotta do is be there.
Yep. You just better hope nobody don't want your you know what? You're gonna need some protection, and we ain't talking about no condoms neither, because those freaking law enforcement guys, they don't give the correctional officers, they don't give a fuck.
Man, okay. So we switching gears, we getting into some police, some tactics. Okay.
Just a little bit.
All right, let me hit you with this one. And then I gotta run. Got some other stuff popping between midnight and 3 a.m. All right. Has the name Shanquella Robinson reached the West Coast yet?
Sounds familiar.
Oh, because she global, brother. Yeah, she's known all around the world now. She went on a trip to Cabo, Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about. Yeah. I've been wanting to get in touch with that story, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, now me and some people were watching a YouTube video where they were discussing the case and the evidence and what they had to present so far. While watching the video, we see the police report from Mexico with people's names and phone numbers on it. We start dialing numbers. You'll be surprised. I'm gonna hit you up later and let you know which one of these dumbasses actually called back. Yeah. There's a manhunt out for your ass, and you call back a random number from the same state you live in, and you know you don't know this number. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to say who actually placed the call, but I was in the room when the phone rang back. And the person on the other end just kept repeating, "Are you a reporter? We don't want to talk to any reporters. And, we don't have nothing to say." But you answered the phone, dumbass. They looking for y'all. She took 6 other people on this trip. She paid for the whole trip for everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm tracking on that one.
She was a young entrepreneur from right here in North Carolina, from Charlotte. And for whatever reason, the Charlotte police think this whole thing to murder her was planned before they ever went to Mexico. 5 hours went by from the time medical help arrived to the time she's actually pronounced dead. Ain't nobody doing CPR for 5 fucking hours, bro. That ain't happening.
No.
That definitely is not happening in Cabo, Mexico. They come back. Now the girl done died. They shoot the cops some bullshit, the alcohol poisoning and all that. They come back. They don't bring her body back with them. They bring her luggage and go straight to her parents' house and tell her the same lie they gave the cops overseas. Oh, it was alcohol poisoning. You know, nothing bad happened. None of this. And then the video comes out. I don't know if you've seen the video.
Oh no.
Okay, I'll hook you up with that in the morning.
Yeah, you got to show me that. Yeah.
There's a straight up fist fight, brother, and this girl is not fighting back. Like, it's just, you know, just think about you running up on a 13-year-old boy. You physically fighting a 13-year-old. That's what it looked like.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
The person filming this shit, you can hear him saying, you know, you can at least fight back. You ain't gonna fight back. But you can see from the video, if she was drunk, if she wasn't drunk, she was definitely on something that kept her from being able to actively defend herself. There was no defense, bro. It was an ass kicking.
Yeah, I give it a total like
that resulted in this girl dying from the way she was thrown around the room.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's bad, brother. It's
and now
it's there's two groups of people are kind of at odds over this whole thing, because you got the folks that believe something nefarious happened to this girl, and the video kind of, you know, is leaning toward that. And then you got the other people that are like, no, my friend didn't do this. Nobody I knew did this. It must have been alcohol poisoning. Well, alcohol poisoning don't break your spine in one place and then dislodge that vertebrae that holds your damn head up straight. Yeah, dislodge that one. And then there was another break further down in the spine. Alcohol don't do that. I've been drunk. Yeah.
Yeah, been plenty of times I fell on my ass, but not to the point where I'm breaking vertebrae.
I've never had a vodka bottle give me a black eye, brother.
And they say they had the video. This girl got straight up murdered. She got her ass.
Yeah,
whooped.
she was assaulted to the point to where she died. Brother, her body just couldn't take what it was receiving.
Wow, that is crazy. But you know what? I want to hopefully we can continue this on Friday, which Friday day off. Yes, so invitation Friday. Can we do it?
Oh, you know what? Let's see, because we still haven't. Let me check something. We still haven't given away a prize, and I've been really wanting to. This would be a nice little something to hook somebody up with for the Christmas.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Why don't we do it on Friday then?
Friday works.
Well, Friday, I'm gonna put out some advertisements, and
Friday's the 23rd. Oh yeah, I'll be free all night, man. We could actually make a party out of it. I'll bring the mixing deck.
Cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
I started working on some advertisements for it, and also if you got some advertisements, share it out and send it to me. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Tuesday night special to make up for our other shows that we should have did yesterday, but every Monday it's been busy for me doing clothes and all that stuff. Anything else you want to put out there before we head on out, Mr. Will?
Just hey, people, stay out of trouble, man. Because listen, if you think for a second that the way or people refer to it as the climate, right? The climate of America says if you're black and you get pulled over, you're gonna get your ass beat by the cops. That's not true. The cops is whipping everybody's ass. So if you ain't trying to be one of them people, just, you know what I'm saying, do what you gotta do. keep your paperwork on your car straight, abide by the laws of the road, and just don't be out here. Don't be mayhem. You know, the dude from the insurance commercials.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait for mayhem, like me.
Don't be mayhem, man.
I think that's the best way of putting it.
Woo!
Shoot, I guess it's my turn. So basically I want to say this. Love yourselves. I mean, love yourselves. I don't know if you heard about what's going on with Master P and his son. A lot of craziness. So I don't know if this exposing Master P or maybe it's just maybe Romeo is having himself a Bow Wow moment, his damn self. Because speaking of Bow Wow is going at freaking Jermaine Dupri and freaking
word.
Yeah, and now the brat, she's getting sick of it, and she's saying that if you don't stop coming at Jermaine Dupri, that she's going to expose Bow Wow. So yeah, it's craziness right now, and so but
Bow Wow better do something about Orlando Brown.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just say love yourselves. And what I mean by love yourselves, also mental health has been talked about. Like I'm not even gonna lie, I need to check myself in and do some therapy. I'm not saying I got a serious problem, but it's just something I want to try because I know I got a lot of burdens I want to, get off my chest and all that stuff. So it's not is us as black men or men in general should not feel ashamed to get help or just get therapy. It's good to talk about things. It's not great to bottle it up. It's a shame. I wish nothing but the best for Master P and his son Romeo, and wherever the situation may be. I don't think Master P is going to look down on Romeo because of his mental health. Like I said, we don't know what is going on within that household, but whatever it is, hopefully they get it straight. Hopefully they talk it out, as well as the Bow Wow and Jermaine Dupri and the Brat situation. Hopefully they can work that out too as well. But other than that, love yourself, not only just yourself, but also your mental, because if you lose your mental, that's ball game, and you don't want to lose.
Yeah, that's don't want to end up with one of them hug yourself jackets.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. But other than that, we will catch y'all on Friday. We will be posting out the advertisements and all that great stuff. But as for my dog Will, as well as me, Donald, much more, thank y'all for tuning into a very special Tuesday night special of #FadeToBlack. Y'all have a good one. Catch y'all later. See y'all
telling y'all, man, come hang out with us. We gonna give away some shit.
And you heard it here. Catch
Peace.
Y'all later. Deuces.
Yeah, I'm pippin', flippin', spittin' these lyrics. Got you feeling what I be saying like you caught the Holy Spirit now. I done went through some shit up in my past, but it fertilized my future. Now I'm harvesting my cash. I like them pretty, but they can't be hot, so did it. Talking like I'm gon' buy what you want, you think it's silly, girl.